You married a dirt farmer for his dirt, didn't you? My brother's voice echoed across the conference table. Marcus sat there in his $1,500 suit, pointing at me like I was the criminal. $50 million in lithium and you won't give family a single cent. That's who you really are. Funny how the man who mocked my husband's worthless land now claims he deserves half. Funny how he showed up with lawyers the second the news broke. But I had something Marcus didn't. Proof. The documents in my folder would show exactly when my brother learned about the lithium and what he tried to do about it. It's 2 a.m., where I'm recording this. Where are you watching from? Hit like if you've ever been underestimated by someone in your own family. Because what I'm about to tell you isn't just about money. It's about the moment I realized my brother wasn't trying to reconnect. He was running a con, and it started 3 years earlier, at my wedding. Growing up, Marcus got everything. The private tutors, the business school, the downtown condo when he graduated. I got community college and a paralegal certificate. He got the investment portfolio. I got a studio above a laundromat. Mom called it fairness. Marcus has always been driven, honey. He needs more support. I stopped asking for support when I was 16. I met Jake at a county harvest festival 5 years ago. He was manning a booth for his family's farm. Third generation, 240 acres of dry land wheat and canola. He talked about soil pH the way Marcus talked about stock tickers. I fell hard. Marcus barely came to the engagement party. When he did show up, he spent 10 minutes, shook Jake's hand, and left. Good luck with that, he told me on the way out. The wedding was small. Barn reception, string lights. Jake's family cooked. Marcus gave the toast. To my little sister, who's trading up from ramen to whatever farmers eat. Beans and dust, I guess. People laughed. Nervous laughs. Jake squeezed my hand under the table. I smiled. But I saved that toast. I save everything. Working as a paralegal taught me that. Every email, every text, every receipt. You never know when you'll need proof. For 3 years, Marcus barely called. No visits, no holidays. Then, one October morning, a geology truck pulled up to our fence line, and everything changed. The local news ran a story on a Tuesday. Preliminary tests show high-probability lithium deposits on farmland in County Section 14. That was Jake's land. By Wednesday morning, 3 mining companies had called. By Wednesday afternoon, Marcus called. Hey, sis. Saw the news segment. That's incredible. I'm really happy for you guys. There was a pause. So, we should probably talk. About Dad's wishes. I sat down. What wishes? Come on. Dad always said family takes care of family. This kind of windfall, it's not just yours, it's ours. I reminded him that Jake's family had owned that land since 1952, long before I even met Jake. That's not the point, Marcus said. The point is, you wouldn't have the values to marry someone like Jake if Dad hadn't raised us right. This is family wealth. I could hear him smiling. I'm not asking for charity. I'm asking for what's fair, 50-50, or at minimum a buyout, something that honors Dad's memory. Dad passed 4 years ago, Marcus. He never met Jake. Exactly. So his estate was never properly settled with this in mind. There are clauses. There are mechanisms. What are you saying? I'm saying you have 1 week to make this right. After that, I'm bringing in a lawyer. Your call. He hung up. Jake was standing in the doorway. What did he want? I looked at my phone. Half of everything. 4 days later, a process server came to the house. Jake signed for the envelope. Inside was a motion for preliminary injunction. Marcus was claiming the mineral rights fell under our father's estate. and that I had unduly influenced Dad before he died to cut Marcus out. None of it was true, but it was filed, in court, public record. That afternoon, Mom called. "Honey, Marcus is very hurt. Can't you just give him something? He's your brother. This is tearing the family apart. Mom, he's suing us. He's protecting his rights. There's a difference." I didn't have the energy to argue. 2 days later, the mining company called. "We need to pause discussions until ownership is clarified. I'm sure you understand." I understood. The family group chat lit up. Aunts, uncles, cousins. "Why is there a lawsuit? Can't you two work this out?" "Marcus says you changed the locks on Dad's storage unit." "I never changed any locks." Jake stopped talking. He just stood on the porch, looking out at the west field, the one with the lithium. I wanted to tell him I had a plan. But right then, I wasn't sure I did. That night, I opened the filing cabinet in our garage. I hadn't told Jake everything I'd been collecting, because 6 months earlier, something made me start watching Marcus very, very carefully. In March, 8 months before the news broke, I got an email. It wasn't meant for me. It was an invoice, CC'd to an old family email address that I still monitored. The subject line read, "Geological assessment complete." I opened it. Invoice number 3847. Apex Geosolutions. Preliminary Mineral Assessment, Section 14, Range 3 West. Total, $4,000. Section 14, Range 3 West. That was Jake's land. The client name was at the bottom. M. Hartman Ltd. Marcus H. Hartman. My brother's LLC. He'd hired a geologist, in March, to survey land he didn't own. Land he'd called worthless. I sat there staring at the screen. He knew. 8 months before the discovery went public, Marcus knew there was lithium under our field. And 2 months after he got that report, he stood up at my wedding and said, "Hope you like beans and dust." He looked Jake's family in the eye, shook hands, and gave that toast, knowing. I printed the invoice. I saved it in a folder labeled Family, because I had a feeling Marcus wasn't done. I had no idea how right I was. But that receipt, that one piece of paper, was just the beginning. Because Marcus didn't just want to know what was under our land. He tried to take it. After I filed a motion to dismiss, Marcus went scorched earth. A reporter from the county paper called me. "Mr. Hartman says you've refused to honor your father's wishes, and you've cut him out of a family asset. Do you have a comment?" Marcus had leaked the story. The headline ran 2 days later. Family feud over $50 million lithium find. My phone didn't stop ringing. Then Mom called again. Marcus asked me to write a letter for his lawyer, just a short statement about what Dad used to say, about family sharing. I think I should do it, honey. Mom, if you sign that, you're supporting a lie. She didn't answer. 3 days later, the mining company VP called. We've been approached by a Marcus Hartman. He's offering to facilitate a faster negotiation and claims he has co-ownership. Can you clarify the situation? I clarified. But the damage was done. At the feed store, Jake's neighbor, someone he'd known for 20 years, looked away when we walked in. At the diner, the conversation stopped. The rumor was everywhere. We were shutting family out of millions. We were greedy. We'd changed. Jake didn't say much, but I saw it in his face. This wasn't just about money anymore. It was about our reputation, our home, our life. Marcus wanted a war of perception. He wanted me to fold under the pressure. But I had something better than spin. I had dates, and I was about to use them. My attorney's name was Sarah. She called me on a Thursday morning. Did Jake ever receive a purchase offer for the land? Maybe last summer? I asked Jake. He nodded slowly. Yeah, July. A company called High Plains Resources. They offered $720,000 for the whole property. Sarah went quiet for a second. I need you to pull that letter. Jake found it in his office. We scanned it and sent it over. 30 minutes later, Sarah called back. I ran the LLC. High Plains Resources was registered in April, 4 months before the offer. Okay. The sole member is Marcus H. Hartman. I stopped breathing. He tried to buy your land. For how much per acre? $3,000. That's market rate for dryland farm ground. But your brother already had the geo report. He knew what was under it. The math was sickening. $720,000 for land worth $50 million. Marcus had walked onto our porch, shook Jake's hand, told him to think about his future, and tried to steal everything. When I told Jake, he just stared at the letter. Then he said, he looked me in the eye. Yeah, he did. Now I understood. This was never about family. It was a con that didn't work, so Marcus switched to Plan B. Sarah ran a background check. It's legal in discovery, public records, court filings. What she found explained everything. Marcus's consulting firm had lost 2 major clients in the past year. He'd been sued twice for non-payment, once by a vendor, once by a landlord. Total judgments against him, $89,000. His condo had a second mortgage filed in February, $120,000. There was also a margin loan default notice, $131,000. Sarah did the math. Your brother is $340,000 in debt. Probably more we can't see. The downtown office, the leased Tesla, the country club. It was all a facade, and it was collapsing. He didn't commission that geo survey out of curiosity, Sarah said. He was hunting, looking for anything he could flip fast. When Jake said no to the lowball offer, Marcus couldn't force the sale. So he pivoted. The family claim, the lawsuit, the media. It was all Plan B, a desperate play to extract a settlement before his creditors closed in. I didn't feel angry anymore. I felt cold, clear. Marcus wasn't trying to reconnect with family. He was trying to survive. And he was willing to destroy us to do it. I looked at Sarah. What do we do? She smiled. We show the court exactly who your brother is. I told Sarah to file everything. Motion to dismiss with prejudice. Cross-complaint for fraud, tortious interference, and abuse of process. And attach every receipt. The geosurvey invoice. The Shell LLC registration. The purchase offer letter. The timeline that proved Marcus knew, lied, and tried to steal. All of it. This is going to get ugly, Sarah warned. It already is. That night I called Mom. I love you, but I'm not negotiating with someone who tried to con my husband and then sued us when it didn't work. She started to argue. If you sign that affidavit supporting Marcus, you're choosing his lie over the truth. That's your choice. But I'm done pretending this is about family. I hung up. Jake and I sat at the kitchen table. If we win this, he said quietly, what do we do with the money? I'd been thinking about that. We start a trust. For young farmers in the county. Kids who can't afford land or equipment. Jake looked at me. Your brother's trying to take everything. I know, but we're not going to become him. We weren't out for revenge. We were out for the truth. And the truth had timestamps. The hearing was set for November 14th. Marcus had no idea what was coming. The hearing room was small. 20 seats. Wooden benches. High ceiling. Marcus sat with his attorney at the front table. Crisp navy suit. Confident posture. Mom sat in the back row, alone. Jake held my hand. The judge came in. We stood. Marcus's lawyer went first. Your Honor, this is a straightforward estate matter. The decedent expressed clear wishes that family assets be shared equitably. Ms. Hartman has refused all reasonable attempts at negotiation. Reasonable. Sarah stood. Your Honor, with respect, this isn't about an estate. It's about fraud. She opened her folder. Exhibit C. A geological survey commissioned by the respondent on March 14th. 8 months before the public discovery. The survey covered one specific parcel, the petitioner's husband's land. She slid a copy to the judge. Exhibit F, a limited liability company formed by the respondent in April. High Plains Resources. Exhibit H, a purchase offer sent by that LLC to Mr. Marsh in July, $3,000 per acre. Market rate for dryland farming. Sarah paused. But the respondent already knew the land contained tens of millions of dollars in lithium. He tried to buy it for $720,000. The judge looked up. Mr. Hartman, did you commission a geological survey of your brother-in-law's property? Marcus hesitated. I explored some investment opportunities in the region, Your Honor. Did you offer to purchase the property? I made an offer, yes, but that's a separate business matter. Before or after you received the geological survey results? Silence. Marcus's attorney whispered something. Marcus cleared his throat. After. But I didn't. And after Mr. Marsh declined, the judge continued. You filed this claim alleging estate rights and undue influence? There are legitimate questions about the estate, Your Honor. The judge closed the file. Motion for preliminary injunction denied. Respondent's claim is dismissed with prejudice. I'm referring your filings to the Bar's Sanctions Committee. This appears to be abuse of process. The gavel came down. It was over. Outside, the mining company VP was waiting. Mr. Marsh, can we restart our conversation? Jake nodded. Marcus walked past us in the hallway. He didn't say a word. Mom stayed on the bench. I didn't look back. The mining agreement finalized in January. $48 million up front, plus a 4% net royalty on future extraction. It was more money than Jake and I could ever spend. Marcus's consulting firm dissolved in March. I heard through a cousin that he'd moved to Phoenix and taken a corporate job. We haven't spoken since the hearing. I don't hate him, but I don't trust him. And I've learned that I don't have to. Mom called in February. I'm sorry. He told me you were shutting him out. I didn't know the rest. I told her I loved her. I also told her we needed time. She understood. We're working on it. Slowly. In April, we launched the Marsh Family Agricultural Trust. $2 million in seed funding. It helps young farmers buy land, cover equipment costs, and survive bad crop years. Jake's grandfather would have loved it. We renovated the farmhouse, added solar panels, built a new barn. But we kept the farm. Jake still works the East 40 every morning. I still help with harvest. The money didn't change what mattered. People ask me if I regret not settling. If I wish I'd just kept the peace, I don't. Peace without truth isn't peace. It's silence. And I was done being silent. Marcus wanted me to believe that winning meant taking everything from him. But real winning looks different. It's keeping your integrity when someone tries to buy it or break it. It's knowing that boundaries aren't cruelty, they're clarity. We didn't destroy Marcus. We just stopped letting him destroy us. Last week, Jake and I sat on the new porch at sunset. We looked out over the west field, the one with the lithium buried underneath. $50 million of it. But when I look at that field, I don't see dollar signs. I see home. If you'd found those receipts, the survey, the LLC, the purchase offer, would you have used them in court? Or would you have tried to reconcile quietly first? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one, and if this story meant something to you, hit subscribe. I share a new story every week. One more thing. This is a fictionalized dramatization for educational and entertainment purposes. It's not legal or financial advice, but the lesson is real. Document everything. Trust your gut. And never apologize for protecting what's yours. Thanks for watching.